Good morning, dear members and friends. Good morning. We are gathered here to have the condolence meeting of Sundar Ramanathan, who passed away recently due to a prolonged illness. We'll have 30 minutes meeting, and we have requested the family members. His wife and 2 daughters are joining shortly, and we have made a small video on Dr. Sundar Ramanathan, which will be played. After that, I would request our president, Dr. Nair, to speak a few words, followed by Dr. Muralidharan, the past president, and Dr. Chandrasekhar, his colleague at GKNM, and Dr. Sivaraman, Dr. Tyagraj Murthy, Dr. Bashi, Dr. Merwal will follow accordingly. After that, by ending, we'll be asking the family members to speak a few words, and the video will be displayed again. Please put the video on, please. I request 1 minute silence before the president. Thank you. Over to Dr. Nair, please.
Good morning, dear friends. We are gathered here today on a very solemn occasion to remember our dear friend, Dr. Sundar Ramanathan, who left us for his heavenly abode a few days ago. At the outset, on behalf of the Indian Association of Cardiothoracic and Vascular Surgeons, I would like to offer our deepest condolences to his family, his wife and 2 daughters whom he left behind, and pray to God Almighty that he gives them the strength to bear with this incomparable loss. Dr. Sundar Ramanathan, apart from being a very proficient cardiac surgeon, was also a very active member of the association and served as its executive committee member for 3 years. His term ended this February at the last IACTS meeting, and that was the last interaction I had personally with him when he handed over charge, and we felicitated him for his contributions to the association. What was remarkable about him was that even then we had no inkling of what health issues he was suffering from, and that speaks volumes for his fortitude and grace with which he always conducted himself. I always remember him during the executive committee meetings for his extremely calm demeanor and the way he would put across his point of view without any aggression or without excitement. He always brought about a very calming influence to an often raucous executive committee meeting, and that was one of his greatest strong points, I would say. With his loss, the society has lost a very important member of the association, and I'm sure his patients would also feel the same. Once again, my sincerest and deepest condolences to the family, and I pray to God that his soul rests in peace. Thank you.
Sir, over to Dr. Muralidharan, please.
Dr. Sundar has been mostly in the meetings, the conferences, and other academic activities. And I used to interact with him as a cardiac surgeon, and he was interacting very professionally. But as an executive member of the IACTS. I have very closely interacted with him on all the occasions, and I found him a very dynamic person. In all the meetings, he used to participate and used to give very positive inputs. And I very clearly remember when you were discussing the IACTS database, he had given a lot of positive inputs. So his contribution, I think, to the society, to the IACTS has been great. And at the same time, I know he was a great surgeon and a great human being. So we have lost a great surgeon. Great surgeon and a great human being. It's a great loss to the IACTS and to the whole fraternity and to the society. My heartfelt condolences to the family, and we pray to the God to give strength to the family. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Yes. Dr. Muralidharan, your audio is fine, sir.
Okay.
Meantime, I'll invite Dr. Chandrasekhar, sir, as it sets in. Go ahead, sir.
Dear Hermet and members of President Dr. K.S. Iyer, I indeed greatly appreciate the IACTS for holding this meeting on behalf of my beloved Sundar. If I get emotional during this talk, please, my apologies to that. And can I share my screen, please?
Please, sir. Yes, sir. Darshan, please allow sir to share the screen.
I'll just put it on slideshow.
At the outset, let me welcome Mrs. Punni Sundar Ramanathan and daughters Darshana and Madurai for the meeting.
Thank you, Hermet. I would like to show a few slides and share briefly, of course. I can speak volumes about Sundar for our long association of 43 years. So, Sundar, as you could say, lives forever in our hearts. He was a very meticulous surgeon on the professional basis, very systematic and methodical. And I am sure he was a great teacher to all of our students. He used to handhold and teach them the steps. No doubt, his patients loved him, and it will be a huge void for our department and for the fraternity. I know him from school days, right from my 7th standard. He was 1 year senior to me in school and college, and in Coimbatore Medical College. And we really got close in JIPMER when we did our residency, when we were sharing the next room in Harvey House. He did his MCH from Sri Chitra, then went to UK for his specialty boards. He was one of the few early surgeons in India who got the FRCS in cardiothoracic surgery. He came back to GKNM. Actually, the seed for becoming a cardiac surgeon was planted in GKNM. After his MBBS, he joined GKNM under Dr. Muralidharan as a medical officer. And that is the time he got inspired. Seeing Dr. Muralidharan, he wanted to become a cardiac surgeon, which he achieved with hard work and grit. So he served GKNM for 2 decades after he came back from UK, and appropriately the institution bestowed on him the highest award, the Distinguished Service Award, in 2017. Sundar was known right from his school days for his great oratory skills in Tamil. He was very passionate about Tamil, and the moment he comes on stage, he would be welcomed with a huge applause from the crowd, which still rings in my ears. And his oratory skills in Tamil, I'm sure many of them who have heard him would know how good he was and eloquent he was. He was an extremely fit person, and he used to love running, and he used to participate in all the marathons, and he was fit as a fiddle. Unfortunately, the disease conquered him. He was part of every activity in GKNM, and this is one of our workshops where he is seeing along with Dr. Patrick Perrier. So he was a huge pillar in the founding pillar in the department, and he held the department together. We are a family in GKNM, I would like to say, and we have our annual parties where Sundar was always a great sport. I'm sure many of his friends would enjoy the great sense of humor he exhibited even in trying times. I know he was fighting a an illness, and then even in his, when he knew the chips were down, his sense of humor kept him going, and I think we would really miss him, and we really miss him too. Now, I would like to end my brief note about Sundar. As I told you, I can talk for long, but najayate mritayeva kadachin न्यायं भूत्वा भविता मानभूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. This is Krishna's statement in Bhagavad Gita, and I'm sure his spirit lives and will continue to guide us. And may God bless him. And I pray for the Almighty to bless his soul and take him with him to eternity. Thank you so much, Sharamat and the Association, for giving me this opportunity to share my feelings about Sundar.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, please go.
I really appreciate IACTS coming up with this Zoom meeting today on tribute to Dr. Sundar, who's been a very close friend of mine for the last almost more than 23 years. The first time I met him in a place called Wigan in England, where I was working. And one day I was about to go to my work. I saw another friend, colleague, gastroenterologist, who was coming down the stairs along with Sundar, and that's when Sundar was introduced to me. He said, "Sir, he's also from Coimbatore. He has come to give his FRC." At that time, he came there for giving his FRC as part 2 for general surgery before going on to become a registrar there. Then after that, I lost touch with him, and then I applied for a interview in Birmingham for the specialist registrar rotation. And there, when I went for going around the Birmingham Children's Hospital, Sundar was working there. I met him there, and since then we've had an ongoing, friendship, almost for more than 20 years now. And since then, we both have traveled quite along, and I have come back, and after a few years, he also came back, and I met Punni and Darshana and Madhurya, who were little kids at that time, and we've been associated with them all the time. And my heartfelt condolences to Punni and Madhurya and Darshana and everybody. I really wanted to see him in the last year or so, but I spoke to him a couple of times on the phone, and I requested him, "Can I come and see you?" But unfortunately, he said he was not in a mood, and he said, "Murthy, I don't want to meet anybody." And even in the last fortnight or so, I requested Ponni, and he didn't want to meet anybody, but his pleasant memories will be there with me. And as everybody said, he has been very meticulous and very vociferous when things are, he will call spade a spade. And if he feels that something is not right, whatever the occasion may be, wherever the stage may be, he will stand up and say, "This is wrong. We cannot do like this." And he's a really guy with a backbone, and he will stand up to anything, any wronggoings and all that. So that sort of a person, when he's a kind of a guy who can be very friendly with everybody, guides the juniors, and very helpful to everybody. And it's a big loss, not only to the cardiothoracic surgery and also to the family and friends, because he was such a young age, and he's got really at least another decade or so of operating skills and everything to go. And he has contributed academically. And all the while, he has been a very hardworking person. And we all know that nothing comes easy in cardiac surgery, and never hesitates to do the hard work and run the last mile. So I'm sure, my condolences to the family again. And we're all there with you. And definitely, that things will go in the right direction for you all. And I pray the Almighty that his soul attains peace. And thank you, Dr. Hireman, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Over to Dr. Muralidharan, please.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
My first encounter with my dear friend Sundar was in 1987 when he joined as a junior houseman in our department. We were not very big at that time, and he joined us, and working with us, he had at that time itself the potence as somebody who was going to do good and come good in later life. From this initial period with us, he moved on to general surgery, then on to cardiothoracic surgery, finished, went and did his fellowship and came back and joined our unit and provided to be moved to be one of the pillars of the department. He was very meticulous, his presentations were excellent. He was always forthcoming in his views, sometimes which seemed a little rough and abrasive to the others, but it was the truth. Never afraid to speak up, at the cost of sounding a little rough to the rest of the people, but he did his point. He was very meticulous, hardworking. His documentation is a treat to watch. I wish some of the youngsters would follow the footsteps of his in the documentation process and working up patient care and patient care. He was an excellent person, meticulous surgeon, and didn't brook any compromises. There was no let us see chalta hai attitude. He was very firm on what he was doing. I left the institution about a year and a half ago, and I least expected that Sundar would leave the institution so soon. This is something totally unexpected. My condolences go to Punni, Darshana, and Madhurya. We are with you, and I think anytime you need any support, we are there for you. I hope you all take this setback in your family life in your stride and hope for the best. And I'm sure he'll be up there showering his blessings and care for you. May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you, sir. Go to Chitra Institute of Medical Sciences. Faculty, I request one person to speak as he had done his post-registration there.
Thank you, Hirimat. Dear friends, it was with a sense of shock and sorrow that we had learned of the passing of Dr. Sundar Ramanathan. True to his nature, Dr. Sundar had chosen to keep his struggles private. An alumni of 93 to 95 batch of MCH at Sri Chitra, he was fondly remembered by his colleagues as an exceptional trainee, an astute surgeon, a perfect gentleman, and an honest man who always spoke his heart out. We have had a pouring in of messages in our group, all remembering his warm and calm demeanor. On behalf of the organizing committee of IACTS Technical College and on behalf of all the alumni of Sri Chitra, we wish to express our deep condolences and our prayers reach out to the family of Dr. Sundar, that God gave them the strength to bear this immense loss. Thank you.
Dr. Bashi is there, sir. 1 minute you can speak, sir.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, President Dr. Iyer, Hiramat, Punni, Darshana, Madhurya, and members of the IACTS. It's with great sorrow I have to face today talking about Sundar. I know him as a friend, as a surgeon, and an academician, and a member of the executive committee. As everybody has mentioned about all his qualities, one important thing I always remember, he never minced words about anything. What he felt, whether anybody likes or not, he always expressed. In any meetings he comes, whether it is executive committee or academic activities, or an opinion about any patient also, he always stands out and stick to. And he always had a reason to justify that. And he had a lot of patients. I also know a lot of patients whom he has operated, talking very high about him. And other than the academic circles, in his own personal circles, he is well regarded for all his personal activities and his contributions. At this time, my sincere condolences are with the family, and I hope and pray they come to terms with this loss, and God will give the strength to withstand this.
Okay, sir. Dr. Shivraman is there on board? If not there, then I would.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. At the outset, I'd like to thank the ISCTS for giving me an opportunity. He was very enthusiastic and always be taking part actively in all the CMB programs. And he is brilliant, and he is a gold medalist in surgery from CMCH outgoing batch. And following that, we all joined in the government service, and he left his government service and continued PG in Sri Chitra. And followed that, he joined in GKNM after finishing FRCS. On seeing his achievements, actually, he was an enthusiasm and behind my career as cardiothoracic surgeon. And I joined cardiothoracic surgery after that. And I am at present at Madras Medical College, Chennai. And actually, I am very sad on losing two of my cardiothoracic colleagues, Dr. Sundar Ramanathan and Dr. Chitralekha. Both have gone recently within a span of 3 months. And I deeply mourn. And my heartfelt condolences to Dr. Ponni and the 2 daughters. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Once again, on behalf of the Indian Association of Cardiothoracic and Vascular Surgeons, heartfelt and deepest condolences to the family members. I request Mrs. Ponni Sundar Ramanathan and Dr. Darshana and Madhurya speak a few words. They are here on board with us today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Darshana, and I am Dr. Sundar's first daughter. Thank you so much for arranging this meeting. I'm joined here with my mother, Dr. Ponni Sundar, and my younger sister, Madhurya. My grandparents, Dr. Ramanathan and Sivagami Ramanathan, are also here. Losing Appa is, we all knew he was a great surgeon. We all knew he was a wonderful person. And losing him, even though we've been treating his condition for the past year, his loss is still extremely great for us. But we really appreciate and value the input that all of you have given. We know he was well-renowned, but the fact that he's changed so many lives and made such a difference in his fraternity of cardiothoracic surgeons means a lot to us. So thank you for supporting him in his career. Thank you for holding this meeting, and thank you for all your regards.
Thank you, one and all. We pray that Sundar Ramanathan's soul rest in peace.